Assalamu alaikum all. Today I'm going to be talking about why I ignore financial market news. There's so much financial news out there, not just like these financial TV channels like Bloomberg, CNBC, like on CNN as well, BBC, like all over. There's all these business news and things like that. There's newspapers, Financial Times, Wall Street Journal. There's just news everywhere. Let's explain why I kind of ignore most of it and why it doesn't really matter for real investing. So yeah, I just want to say welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. Just a quick disclaimer, everything that I say is not financial advice and it's just my opinion for entertainment and information purposes. Now, what I used to think was, isn't keeping up with financial news good? And that's what I used to actually think. There's all this information out there. Surely you have to, listen to all that news. But however, most of it is just kind of meaningless. It just talks about profits being up, some sort of predictions and things like that. But the key thing is like thinking about what is the motive behind these kind of news channels and these newspapers and things like that. And these financial news sort of outlets just want to keep you watching, same as any other sort of news or TV program or something like that. They want to get more ratings, more people. And the main reason for that is, they want to sell advertising and they want people to keep coming back and back and back. So that's why they need to try and make the news like make it sound exciting. So they'll have lots of fancy graphics, maybe a bit of shouting going on. They're like, oh my gosh, the profit's gone up, this has gone down, this has happened. And they try and provide news that sounds scary as well, which also kind of hits people watching, like that sort of scaremongering. People just kind of want to watch and it makes you kind of scared, and then you end up kind of feeling like you have to watch more and more. And they'll say, oh, this company's profits have gone down, like Amazon's profits got down by whatever, or their share price has gone down, and and the market is really doing bad. But however, all of this is kind of meaningless because real investing is kind of boring. Like no one would watch it. And this was something that I really kind of picked up from the book The Simple Path to Wealth, and Tai Kim does a really good summary on that book. Like, I've seen it quite a few times. Fantastic sort of summary, and I'll have a link to that summary in the description. Yeah, and it's basically like real investing is kind of boring. It's like watching paint dry. Who wants to watch that or listen about that? You have to just invest and let time do the work, and then come 10, 15, 20 years later, you just want to see what's happening. And basically it's kind of index funds, just investing in that is like the cool thing behind what the book talks about, what I definitely believe in, and something I believe like a lot of people should be doing. And the other thing is that it's almost impossible to predict how the market will do. And this is what the book talks about. There's just too many factors and variables involved. There's all the kind of geopolitics, like between different countries, supply as well. There might not be supply of a certain material. COVID-19 kind of threw everything out of whack. That just came in and just such a massive kind of worldwide event and just kind of affected everything. Like no one saw that coming. There's so many different sort of economic considerations, like different parties are empowering the government and things like that. And with the index fund, you just kind of invest your money and just forget about it, just let it kind of work itself. And basically a lot of the information out there is just meaningless. I've kind of touched on that earlier. It's constantly showing you a tick of prices. It will say, the share price has gone down by 5%, and the next day it's gone up by 2%. It doesn't really matter and doesn't really affect my investing strategy because that stuff should not affect it. In the grand scheme of things, 10, 20 years, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter. Like, these little blips and stuff like that, they can be constantly going on, and you just get bombarded with all this kind of news. And you hear the profits are down one week, but then for the last 10 years the profits have been up massively, and then the profit will go back up again. Like this, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. And sometimes you hear about all the bad things, but then hear about all the good things that are happening. So yeah. What I find is I kind of reduce my stress. Like if I don't follow the news, there's just too much information out there, just bombarded and just kind of overloads you. You get into this mode of fear of missing out. So like this FOMO, there's just too many channels. There's too much stuff out there. It's kind of impossible to kind of follow all of it. So what I tend to focus on is just spending time on my own finances. So this is like looking at my budget. Where's my money going? Kind of organizing it and having money kind of invested and saved sort of automatically. So kind of putting things on autopilot. That's like really important. And and also like learning about finance as well, setting up my pensions and all of that sort of stuff is, where I should be spending most of my money and time and everything on, rather than like these news outlets and feeling like I have to read the Financial Times or the Wall Street Journal. There is some stuff out there that is quite interesting, but it's just not worth it really. And I find that I was just spending too much time on all of this sort of stuff and not getting the simple stuff right, and just focusing on that and putting my time and energy into that. I'm sure like most of you have got families and things like that and other commitments. So, why would I want to spend time on something that's going to not really kind of make a difference in terms of my investing? So yeah, real investing is kind of simple. It's kind of boring. It's not something that people are going to be watching on TV. And, that's how investment does well. So yeah, just wanted to say thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button as it really helps with the algorithm. Assalamu alaikum.